Okay, so my name is Jordan and I studied speech language pathology this year in ISM. For my quote, I chose, "One day our patients will be able to tell their own stories and will no longer have to convince naysayers that deaf children can listen and speak." I thought I would start off just a little bit about me. My name is Jordan Muster. I am a senior here at Frisco High School. This is my first year in ISM. I am very close with my family. I am the oldest of two brothers. That's my brother Jack in the glasses and my brother Jared. We're all a very close family. We're very active. We all do scouts. That leads me to the cross-country picture. I've been running cross-country since I was in 7th grade. This year I was the JV captain, which I thought was pretty cool. I also play soccer. I've been playing soccer since I was 4 years old, but this is the first year I have not played soccer for the high school. My coach decided I was not allowed to leave though, and I'm now the manager of the varsity team. I have been in Girl Scouts since I was in first grade. I was a Brownie, and I received the Girl Scout Silver and Bronze in middle school. Those are both big community service projects, but this is my Girl Scout Gold project. This is a hearing, oh my gosh. Okay, this is a cochlear implant exhibit at the Pro Museum in Dallas. I got really inspired by my brother, who is deaf and wears bilateral cochlear implants. We were walking through the museum and he noticed that there was nothing about him. There was a lot of prosthetic arms and prosthetic legs, but there's nothing about hearing loss, and this really is a prosthetic ear. So I decided that I would contact the Pro Museum and ask them if I could do this project. As you can see in the picture, I have a display in the lobby. There is a video, it's a 6-minute video, and I interviewed 3 different major professionals in the Dallas area, 1 audiologist, 1 speech pathologist, and a surgeon or an otolaryngologist. That's my favorite word. And we have the graphics on how it works, and then also some equipment. There's a huge time gap in how amazing the equipment has changed. There, if you can kind of see, there's the big boxes, the little gray and tan ones. That's the very first ones that you would have to wear on a backpack, which were huge. And now they're just little tiny implants that go behind your ear and you can't even notice them. This project is an 80-hour project, and I'm currently 40 hours in. I'm volunteering every weekend down at the museum, educating the public about what this is, because not a lot of people know what it is. But this relates to ISM because I met a lot of professionals. I learned how to communicate with people, and this is speech pathology. I also was able to volunteer at the Hearing and Listening Camp for children who wear cochlear implants this summer thanks to my project. I was introduced to it by Melissa Sweeney, who I interviewed. This is some pictures of my camp. This camp is a graduate class that their whole project, final project, is this summer camp that we got to work at. They came up with all the ideas for activities, such as running under the parachute. That helps with the listening that the children are developing. They're learning how to be speech pathologists, and they gave me really wonderful advice on college, on undergrad, and how to get into graduate school. It was really such a wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity. My real inspiration was my brother Jack. This is a picture of my brother Jack after his 2nd surgery. He was about 3. He wears bilateral cochlear implants, which is totally wonderful. He lost his hearing to meningitis at 13 months and was implanted a few years later. He really would not be the really confident kid he is if it wasn't to speech therapy. His speech is very well. He plays 2 sports. He is involved in scouting. He has lots of friends. He's totally normal. If he has a hat on, you can't even tell that he's deaf. It's really incredible. Not a lot of my friends even realize that he is deaf. So why I wanted to do independent study and mentorship program. My friend Gracie Carl, I took 3 years American Sign Language with her, really loved this class, and she always would tell me how much fun it is, and she really just got me hooked on the idea of having a class where I can do my own thing and study what I want to do. So I decided that I would try to do this because I really wanted to gain professionalness and get the real world experience and meet new people that would help me in the future. And I also wanted to step outside my comfort zone. I am not the person that would volunteer first to public speak, do anything like that, but this class has really helped bring my confidence level up. Why I wanted to study speech pathology. I know because of personal things that it's very scary for families going through this. My family definitely my family was definitely terrified when they first found out my brother was deaf. It's very scary, but being a speech pathologist, you give them so much confidence, and you're able to help the patients know that they're going to be okay. It also, especially when you get older, there's a lot of my brother's age kids. He's currently in 7th grade. A lot of people that are more shy and don't have good speech are very not confident, are very like to hide in themselves. So being a speech pathologist, helping them get this confidence through speech is really something I find inspiring. And then you can play the video. This is a video that my mom absolutely loves. She shows it to everyone who's deciding to implant their kids. So yeah.
When you first have a child, especially your firstborn, you kind of want to have that baby bliss. I remember when Callie would wake up in the night and I would go into her room and she'd be crying like any baby does, and I would pick her up, and I remember sometimes being very challenged to sing to her because I was going through all of these emotions that, well, she can't hear me anyway, so what's the point? And I just remember that sense of loss of how am I going to make this baby feel love when she can't hear me. The day she got her ears turned on, her eyes, from the minute the first sound that was the first beeps that even went in from her ears, her eyes she just lit right up and she looked right at us. These little eyes just got so sparkly.
I saw a video that when we first got them turned on, and we had all these toys and stuff, and I was pushing a whole bunch of like toys. It was so loud and stuff, and yeah.
I remember my husband and I looked at each other and we just kind of knew that it was probably the same scenario as well for Lexi. We knew without a doubt as soon as her hearing loss progressed to the point of being a cochlear implant candidate, 100% for sure she was getting cochlear. I mean, we all face those fears of putting your baby through surgery and all of those kind of things, and it was emotional. It was tough for us to go through. And from that first moment, it was confirmed that they could hear us. And it was just such a joyful feeling, and we knew we had done the right thing.
Our teacher, one day, she told us that it was a miracle in our classroom because of me, my hearing.
Our lives are completely changed. They wouldn't. It just wouldn't be the same. They can hear us. So, sorry. They're going to be embarrassed.
If you guys really could hear like the children talk, like their speech is very well. That is speech therapy. That is very hard for any child to learn speech, but especially a deaf child. That is very impressive speech for their age, and showing that video to parents that are going to have their kid implanted really gives them hope that their child can be as normal, because they do sound like completely normal kids. Okay. So I did a few research assessments. As you know, I have a lot of background on this, so I kind of just picked some random ones that I found interesting. My first one was an early hearing detection test. That is a mandatory test you must do before you leave the hospital with your newborn baby. That has really caused a need for speech pathologists and hearing loss. There's not enough going around, and there really needs to be demanded more. So I found that very interesting. My next one, I get very heated about this. This is something I'm very kind of passionate about because of my brother. Is the cochlear implant versus deaf community. As you can see in this little propaganda thing from a deaf newspaper, that they have very different views on the cochlear implant. They are very deaf pride. They believe that we are taking away from their culture, and I know some of y'all have done sign language. And Miss Scalera is deaf, and when I first moved here and I told her that I had a deaf brother, she definitely had some things to say to me. She did not understand why we would give my brother an implant, because that's taking away from his culture, but we're restoring what he had because he did lose his hearing. So I find that very weird, and I've been asked when I work at the museum, I've had someone come up to me and totally question me and try to bully me into thinking that my beliefs were wrong, and I find it very bizarre because it is technology, but that was something I was really interested in writing about. And then my next topic was places to work. There are many places that you can work as a speech pathologist. You will never get bored. You can do private practice, hospitals, schools, and clinics. The only ones I really found interesting was schools and clinics, because I don't like hospitals, and private practice is way too much responsibility for me. So I did a lot of research in the clinic areas. There's many different types of clinics. The UTD clinic, the Collier Center, is a university-based clinic, so it's not like most clinics, but it is a major clinic. One of the things that you have to do to work at a clinic is you have to be ATV certified or auditory verbal therapy certified. That is a 5-year process that you have to do if you want to work in a clinic. At some clinics, you have to find your own patients, which I found was really weird. You're paid per patient, not a base salary. It is also very family oriented. You are basically teaching your families how to teach their kids. It is more based on working on with each family. You want to teach them strategies as if you're doing laundry with your kids. You want to teach them, oh, first you put this, next you put this. It's not just teaching the kids. But one of the great things I found at working in clinics is you have audiologists there too. If you have a malfunction with a cochlear implant and you don't know how to fix like a coil or a processor, you can go down the hall and have anyone fix it, and you can get right back to speech. The next thing is working with insurance. There's a lot of paperwork to be a speech pathologist in a clinic area. So much paperwork, a lot of daily reports on how the progress is going for each child. I interviewed 4 people at the Collier Center in Dallas. My first interview was with Melissa Sweeney. I absolutely love her. She is a family friend, so that's why I decided to interview her first, because I knew her. She is the head of the cochlear implant program at UTD Collier. She is no longer an active speech pathologist. She teaches grad students during their practicums and also overlooks all of the active speech pathologists. She also is the director of the hearing and listening camp for children with cochlear implants that I worked at over the summer. She also helped me with my Girl Scout project. She's completely wonderful, and I absolutely love her. I totally look up to her and hope I can be like her as a speech pathologist. My next interview was with Amanda Steltlick. She works at the University of Texas at Dallas Collier Center. She works with kids with cochlear implants 3 to 5. She's currently working on her AVT, or auditory verbal training. She's only a year in, but she really hopes to get it done. She also is the only one who wants to be a bilingual speech therapist, because there are so many different cultures represented in the Dallas area that she really wants to be able to help everyone. My next interview was with Erica Brown. She also works at the Collier Center. She works with kids aged 3 to 10, and she also works with adults, which I found very interesting. There is a lot of people in the Dallas area with cochlear implants as adults, but they don't make as much progress. When I talked to her, she explained to me that she liked working with kids better because there's so much progress and it's more exciting, and even though it is challenging, that it definitely brings a more wow factor. Like, I help them reach this goal. With adults, it's a lot harder to reach each goal because their brain's already developed and it just doesn't work as well. She also previously worked in a school district, and she said she absolutely loved it, but she would not go back because she loves the team at the Collier Center. The next interview was with Hannah Proche. She works at the UTD Collier Center. She's currently working on her PhD in hearing sciences. When I talked to her, when she was in grad school, she was very caught between audiology and speech pathology. Audiology is the basic how the implant works and figuring out what sound waves need to be corrected, and speech pathology is teaching those kids. She really could not decide which one she wanted to be in, but she decided to be a speech pathologist because she wanted the close relationships. By the end of her PhD, she's hoping to combine the audiology and speech pathology into making it one program, so she doesn't have to choose. Currently, she's only working with 5 to 10-year-olds. She really does not see that many kids anymore because she's working on her PhD. My next thing that I found very interesting, which I ended up loving, was schools. Every school is different. The research that I did was at Davis Elementary School, which is the school my brother went to. It's in Plano, and it's absolutely wonderful. They have a regional day school for the deaf embedded into their program, which has about 75 kids with hearing loss into this mainstream program, so they're able to learn with normal kids but just have more assistance. Being in a school, you have a way better connection with your children because it is you and the child. It's not teaching the families, and you also see them throughout the day, so you are very close with them. When I talk to my interview people, they have about 30 students a week, which seems like a lot, but it really isn't. Within the school, there's also a big family sense of community. All the teachers are always there for you, and there is a lot of speech pathologists around, and they're there to help you if you ever need help. The only downside is there's a lot of paperwork. So more than half of this job is paperwork due to the special education laws that are in the United States. So that is definitely a big thing that speech pathologists definitely have to do. My 5th interview was with Amanda England. She works at Plano Davis Elementary School. She is a deaf education speech pathologist. She works with kindergarten through 5th grade. She sees about 45 kids a week, And she graduated a year early, which I found was really interesting. She really wanted to get out there and help. And she's absolutely amazing. She's very energetic. And her classroom, how she runs her classroom, I just found was very interesting. My next interview was with Casey Murray. She also works at Davis Elementary School. She does special education and deaf education speech therapy, which was very interesting. I didn't know you could combine them like that. What I found was really cool, she has a deaf brother too, but he does not have cochlear implants. He is straight up deaf. He went to a school in Austin, I think, for sign language, and that's why she wanted to be a speech pathologist, and that's just like me, so I thought that was really cool. She also wants to be an administrator in the future to really make change for these children and no longer sit behind the little reading table, and really wants to change their lives. My mentor is Amanda England. I chose her because she's extremely natural with her kids, and she also can make any moment a good moment. I interviewed a lot of people when I was at Davis. I talked to a lot of people, and they said this is really the person that I should be with because she is so good at her job. And she definitely makes a lot of time for me, and she really wants me to be take advantage of the most that I can while mentoring under her. My original work is I want to create a lesson plan for the whole year for a fake child because I cannot use a real child. I want to learn the admission, review, and dismissal program, or the ARD, and how it works. I also want to learn how to reach each goal because that is a lot of speech therapies. You have to make a program and then how I'm going to accomplish each goal. And then hopefully I can conduct a few practice sessions with the age group I will be working on. My plans for the future, I will be attending Oklahoma State University next year studying communication disorders. Eventually I would love to get my master's because that is totally mandatory to be a speech pathologist. And then I would want to work at a school district because I really like it. I thought I wouldn't. I thought I wanted to work in a clinic, but turns out I really like the schools. In the very far future, I definitely want to go work at other places. I really want to go work in places such as Africa or in Asia. I found this HEARUS, and it's based in Cape Town. It's a big hearing cochlear implant type of foundation that they have running through Cape Town that just started, and they're in need of a lot of speech pathologists. I found that really interesting. Eventually, I would love to become something like Miss Melissa Sweeney is, to help teach the grad students and help them become better speech pathologists, because it really is amazing to teach these kids. And that was it. Okay.